What if the biggest threat to global business isn't a rival company, a tech startup, or even a foreign power? What if it's a silent, unyielding software algorithm, operating inside millions of square feet of concrete boxes? Most people look at an Amazon fulfillment center and see convenience. They see a smiling arrow on a cardboard box, delivered to their doorstep in under 24 hours. They think Amazon is in the business of selling products. That is a multi-billion-dollar illusion, because behind those massive, windowless walls lies an invisible monopoly. An economic trap designed not to store goods, but to capture control over the entire supply chain of modern commerce. By the end of this breakdown, you will discover how Amazon quietly turned independent businesses into captive renters, why legacy retailers never had a chance, and the cold, mathematical reality of how this silent machine extracts billions without ever owning the inventory. To understand how this trap works, we have to look at a real business. Consider Marcus, an ambitious entrepreneur who built a thriving brand selling high-end, chef-grade kitchen knives. For years, Marcus ran his business the traditional way. He built a website, hired a small team, and handled his own shipping. His product was a hit. His customers loved him. He was living the ultimate e-commerce dream. Then, Amazon called, or rather its massive algorithmic pull lured him in. Marcus realized that if his knives weren't on Amazon, he was missing out on millions of buyers who start their search directly inside that app. So, he signed up for Fulfillment by Amazon, or FBA. He shipped 10,000 knife sets directly into Amazon's sprawling network, expecting his profits to skyrocket. And at first, it felt like magic. Orders poured in. Delivery happened overnight. Sales doubled in a matter of weeks. Marcus thought he had cracked the code to infinite wealth, but he didn't realize he had just handed the keys of his entire business to an algorithmic landlord. You see, most people believe Amazon warehouses are built to store products until they sell. In reality, the network is engineered around a brutal principle, the inverted warehouse. Amazon doesn't want items sitting on shelves. Space inside a 1 million square foot fulfillment center is far too valuable to act as cheap storage. Instead, the entire system is designed to force inventory to move at lightning speed, or punish the seller financially until they break. When Marcus's knife sales slowed down slightly in month 3, something invisible changed. Amazon's systems automatically triggered a series of escalating operational penalties. First, monthly storage fees suddenly spiked. Then, aged inventory surcharges kicked in, multiplying his costs per cubic foot. If Marcus tried to lower his prices on his own website to clear out stock, Amazon's price-matching bots detected it instantly. His listing on Amazon was stripped of the buy box, the buy button that drives 99% of all sales. His revenue plummeted overnight, while his storage bills continued to stack up. Marcus wasn't managing a product anymore. He was trapped on an algorithmic treadmill, forced to pay whatever Amazon demanded just to keep his inventory from being destroyed. And this brings us to the ultimate monetization engine, the toll road. If you think Amazon makes its money by taking a small cut of retail sales, look closer at the numbers. Over the last decade, Amazon transformed its platform from an open marketplace into a complex, multi-layered toll road. Let's break down where every dollar actually goes when a product sells. Amazon first extracts a standard referral fee, usually around 15%, just for hosting the transaction. Next comes the fulfillment toll, the cost to pick, pack, and ship the item. That takes another 20 to 30%. Then there are inventory placement fees, long-term storage penalties, and return processing charges. By the time you add up all these operational costs, Amazon is quietly carving away over 40% of the seller's revenue. But here's the kicker. You can't just put your product in their warehouse and expect people to find it. To get any visibility, sellers are practically forced to buy internal search ads on Amazon's own platform. Think about how brilliant and ruthless this structure is. Sellers are paying Amazon to advertise products that are stored inside Amazon's warehouses so Amazon can charge them a fee to ship it. In total, Amazon now extracts over 50% of every single dollar an independent seller generates. They take half the revenue, while taking 0% of the manufacturing risk, zero inventory debt, and zero import liability. They built a multi-billion-dollar toll gate across global retail, funded entirely by the capital of independent business owners. Now, you might ask, why don't sellers like Marcus just pack up and leave? Because of the ultimate conflict of interest. The data trap. Inside those massive distribution hubs, every single package scanned, every unit moved, and every millisecond of fulfillment time generates hyper-precise market intelligence. Amazon knows exactly which products are trending, which price points maximize margin, and exactly how much it costs to produce them, long before the seller even sees their monthly report. If a seller builds a highly profitable niche, the algorithm takes notice. Data flows silently from the warehouse floor, directly into product development teams. Suddenly, a new brand appears on the marketplace, Amazon Basics. It looks almost identical to the top-selling product. It's priced just below the seller's margin, and it mysteriously dominates the top search results. Marcus didn't just rent space in a warehouse. He funded the research and development for his own biggest competitor. He was paying his landlord to study his business and copy his product. And yet, as devastating as this is for small businesses, it gets even worse for global competitors who try to fight back. Why can't physical retail giants, companies with deep pockets and legacy supply chains, stop this silent monopoly? Because they are trapped by the capital wall. Traditional retailers built their networks on predictable bulk logistics. They move full truckloads of goods from centralized factories to regional hubs to retail stores. Their entire cost structure is optimized for high-density, scheduled delivery. Amazon built the exact opposite. A hyper-fragmented, dynamic routing machine capable of sorting and moving millions of individual items directly to millions of individual doors, in hours, to match Amazon's delivery speeds. A competitor can't just spend a few $100 million on a new website. They have to spend hundreds of billions of dollars building physical infrastructure, buying cargo planes, leasing middle-mile sorting hubs, and operating thousands of last-mile vans. When legacy retailers try to compete on Amazon's terms, their operational margins collapse. Every order shipped fast bleeds cash. Every return eats up profit. They are playing a game where the cost of entry is so astronomically high that trying to catch up mathematically guarantees bankruptcy. So, where does this relentless infrastructure build-out lead? It leads to the creation of a global sovereign. A corporate machine that no longer operates like a private enterprise, but like essential national infrastructure. Amazon's network is moving beyond e-commerce. They are quietly expanding their fulfillment machinery into a standalone, end-to-end logistics utility. They are offering to manage supply chains for companies that don't even sell on Amazon, from ocean freight off the coast of Asia, to customs clearance, to middle-mile air transport, to the final drop-off on a residential street. They are building a private, algorithmic global shipping lanes network, one that operates completely outside traditional post offices and legacy carriers. If you control the physical pipelines through which basic daily goods move, you don't just own a business. You control the economic velocity of entire nations. Consider how your perception of this company shifts. The next time you place an order, and a brown cardboard box lands on your doorstep a few hours later,